You gotta buy Joseph.
Call the city council meeting to order. Call the roll.
I think I have it memorized by now. Oops, 1 second. I was attending to some business in the audience.
As our meeting was coming to a close in the work session, we had a couple items to attend to. Clerk, when you're ready. Wonderful.
Councilperson Binding?
She's excused.
Germaine?
Here.
Lamore?
Here.
Felder?
Here.
Whitman?
Here.
Angeli?
Present.
Mayor Clark?
Present. Ask we all please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Guide our working together, give us wisdom to make the right decisions, your understanding to listen to each other, and your compassion to promote the peace and welfare of the residents of this community.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, before we start, I know that City Attorney Buds had sent a correspondence regarding our upcoming closed session. A motion to amend the agenda is not necessary. You just need to have those items, if the council wishes to discuss those, to be added to the discussion points when that comes up at the end of the meeting. Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is the approval of the regular agenda.
Let's see if there's any comments. Council members? So, we want a motion. Yeah, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we approve the regular agenda.
Second. Motion by Councilman Michelangelo, supported by Councilman Lamore to approve the approval of the regular agenda. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Germaine?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman? Angeli?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.
The next item is a proclamation. Your Honor, I'll let you go ahead and.
Well, thank you. So we have a proclamation this evening. While the proclamation is not going to be presented because it's going to be presented to the Sisters and Servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary under celebration, which is this coming Sunday afternoon. I'll talk about that more in my comments on September 12th. They're having a anniversary gathering at St. Mary's Park, and the proclamation will be presented at that time. But I do think it's important for those here, also those that watch through Impact our meetings, some information here. I'm going to go through just some highlights and some information regarding why we're doing this proclamation. And of course, it's an honor and privilege for the mayor and council to give me this opportunity. You think about the Sisters and Servants of Immaculate Heart of Mary, and they celebrate their 175th. And it's interesting because the 175th was last year, and of course, COVID put many things in hold. While they're in their 176th, they still want to celebrate their 175th, which is a milestone. And you think back when it was originally founded on November 10th of 1845, and they started in a log cabin along the River Raisin. In 1846, the sisters opened the first school in Monroe, St. Mary's Young Ladies Academy, and then college classes in St. Mary's College and Academy was started in 1905. You know, as they moved forward up to 1930, there were 60 parochial schools and 32,000 students and 600 sisters and lay teachers that were instructing throughout the region of Monroe, Detroit, and even out of state. You know, the IHM campus is a historical site and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And they did renovations through 2000 and 2003 when they talk about their sustainability, living, earth-friendly geothermal methods, and materials earning national, regional, and state awards for that transformation. They held the first national mini Relay for Life through their Senior Care Center facility in 2012. I believe as the council supports here, the community is blessed to be in a better place because of the IHM Sisters' presence and participation in our community. Their leadership team, the innovative practices, they transformed the mother house, the congressional and community needs are being met. A quality healthcare facility was established there, and senior housing apartments were also added within their facility here in the last couple of years. Their existence and a long history of involvement in our community and the services they provide, specifically the educational services, the civic engagement, development partnerships, environmental programming, hosting community events and guests regionally as well as really across the world, and the additional social justice issues that makes the betterment for all of us. I'm going to close, and because this is part of our proclamation here, 170 years after its founding, their mission statement: urged by the love of God, we choose to work with others to build a culture of peace and right relationship among ourselves, with the church, and with the whole earth community. And I think if we've all learned through our time living here and interactive with the IHM Sisters, everybody in the community, what their mission and involvement of sustainability and long-term, that things will continue. So this will be proclaimed as we get to meet with them at their celebration at the park on September 12th, and we'll proclaim that day as the Sister Servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary Day. So I just want to review that. I think it's important to know that there's many historical books that you can find at our local libraries, but you also can find at the Sisters Library. There's many volumes of their great work they've done in our community and deserving of our recognition. Clerk Treasurer, next item.
The next item is the consent agenda, and for approval of payments to vendors, the amount should read $2,316,343.66. 2316343.66.
Thank you. Are there any items on the consent agenda that council wishes to have pulled for further discussion? Any consent agenda items council members wish to pull? Any items on the consent agenda those present here this evening wish to have pulled for further discussion? Any items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, a motion would be in order. Councilman Felder?
Yes, sir. I would make a motion that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, recommendations carried out, and resolutions adopted.
Second.
It's a motion by Councilman Felder, supported by Councilman Lamore, that all items on the consent agenda be accepted, placed on file, actions carried out, and resolutions adopted. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Germaine? Yes. Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman?
yes,
Echoangeli?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes. Next item, please.
The next item is under council action. It's item 3264, proposed ordinance 21-007, an ordinance to amend Chapter 58 Code of Ethics.
Look, Mr. Sell, to start, joining us this evening, our Assistant City Manager and Finance Director. Mr. Sell, any comments?
I'm going to ask City Attorney Matt Buds to introduce this item as well as the next two items
thank
that
you.
are coming up as well.
Your Honor and Council, as we discussed at the last work session, there were a number of ordinances that were going to be proposed at this meeting to be placed for public hearing and up for their first reading. I'll speak about all three of them generally, as the language is pretty much the same throughout all of them. As we discussed, Councilman Felder had raised the idea of updating several of our ordinances to have consistent anti-discrimination provisions. And so we had done that in three areas: the Code of Ethics, the Fair Housing, and the Cable Franchising sections. Following the feedback at the work session, we had updated all of those to have one block of text that is, I'll call it virtually the same. There's one reference between the three that is different to the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act, just because that exists in one of the existing ordinances already. Otherwise, the list of provisions that would be subject to our anti-discrimination provisions would be the same throughout and would be updated consistent with the discussion that we had at the work session. If there are any questions or concerns, I'm happy to answer any of those from the mayor or council.
Thank you. I'll see if there's any questions. Councilman Felder?
No questions, just thank you for the attorney administration for bringing this forward and council for its consideration.
Yeah, I really appreciate the work done on the wording as well. I think it's meets what we discussed, and I think it was a good discussion, and these are all.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we move to place ordinance 21-007, section 58 of the chapter 58 Code of Ethics, ordinance 2108 to amend chapter 327 Fair Housing, and proposed ordinance 2109, an ordinance to amend chapter 244 Cablevision System Franchises, up for its first reading and schedule a public hearing for September 20th, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Nicolai, supported by Councilman Lamore on item 3264, the proposed ordinance 21-007, in orders to amend Chapter 58 Code of Ethics, and as was stated. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Janady?
Yes.
Lamore?
Yes.
Felder?
Yes.
Whitman?
Yes.
Echoangeli?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Chapter 58 Code of Ethics, an ordinance to amend section 58-1 of Chapter 58 Code of Ethics of the Code of the City of Monroe.
Thank you. Next item.
The next item is 3262, proposed ordinance 21-008, an ordinance to amend Chapter 327 Fair Housing to be placed on the floor for its first reading and set the public hearing and second reading date.
Motion, is there anything further additional, Mr. Buds?
Your Honor,
Oh,
procedure here.
Yeah.
My motion included all three of the ordinances at one time.
That was my understanding as well.
so I'm looking at Mr. Buds, and if he, I'm sorry, I missed that.
We usually do them one at a time, especially when they're written that way, so I just assumed that that was how we were going to proceed. But if not, I'll be glad to read the rest of them.
I don't have a problem either way. I do agree that the motion was made, the second, and the vote occurred, so I would just say it would be appropriate then to have the reading of the other two, and we would proceed in accordance with that procedure.
Thank you, Councilman.
1-008, an ordinance to amend section 327-2, 327-3, and 327-4 of Chapter 327 Fair Housing of the Code of the City of Monroe. Ordinance 21-009, Chapter 244, Cable Television System Franchises, Operations of Franchisees, Equal Opportunity. An ordinance to amend Section 244-7C of Chapter 244 Cable Television System Franchisees. That's it.
All right, thank you. And thanks for the catch there. So now we'll go to the next item.
Item 3259, the Opportunity Center at ALCC and Navarre Library Space Analysis Report.
I'll see if, Mr. Sal, there's some background or comments, and then we'll see the motion.
Just a brief reminder, I guess we had a presentation on this at your special meeting that you recently had. It's a review of the space and program analysis that was done by Kohler Architects for the Opportunity Center and Navarre Library. And the request is just simply to direct the administration to begin exploring the funding sources for those expansions and improvements, and to start moving towards implementing the study's recommendations. Mr. Cochran can give you a brief summary of what was in that presentation if you'd like.
As Mr. Cochran steps up, I know we'll have a brief comment, but it was a very good presentation at our last meetings, but Mr. Cochran.
Yep, Honorable Mayor, City Council, Mark Cochran, Assistant to the City Manager and Economic Development Director. As Ed mentioned, that back in February, we had contacted with Kohler Architect to take a look at the existing Opportunity Center in Navarre Library. Not a lot of improvements have been made other than the kitchen expansion, remodel, and some cosmetic work and mechanical work in the facility. And so we wanted to take a look with the input of the contracted users, including MCOP, in the library system, to look at whether the facility is capable of meeting the current and future programming needs that they desire to carry out for the benefit of the community. We also pulled in Monroe Public Schools and the Learning Bank as well to take a look at the entire campus. And so, as Mr. Sell mentioned, at the August 30th special City Council meeting, they presented the recommendations and the final analysis that did include a pretty significant expansion of the facility. And so what we're doing tonight is to ask City Council to accept the report and place it on file so that City Administration can demonstrate to possible future funding partners. The City Council has endorsed the project, and we're prepared to move ahead to begin implementation of it.
Very good, thank you.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we accept the space and program study prepared by Kohler Architects for the ALCC Opportunity Center and Navarre Library, and direct the city administration to begin looking for funding sources to implement the study recommendations.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Kalani, supported by Councilman Lamore on item 3259, the Opportunity Center at ALCC and Navarre Library Space Analysis Report. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Jermaine? Yes. Lamore? Yes. Felder? Yes. Whitman? Yes. Michaelangeli?
Yes.
Mayor Clark?
Yes.
I have no further items, Your Honor.
Councilwoman Viney is not with us this evening, but council excused for appropriate reasons. Councilwoman Germaini.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to congratulate the IHM Sisters for their 175th anniversary, not only for our community, but also for the world. I have many personal memories with the IHM growing up with parochial school and St. Mary Academy, and they've created a lot of positive memories for me, and there'll be more to come. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Once again, congratulations to the Immaculate Heart of Mary on their 175th anniversary. What a great achievement. 175 years. America's barely that old. So 175 years is something to be proud of. Also, I'd like to thank Doug Hassett for stepping up to serve our community as one of our new port commissioners. I also wish to invite anyone else who wishes to serve our community to step forward and apply at City Hall for many of the positions that are still available to be filled in these different commissions. And that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman. Councilman Felder.
No comments this evening. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Whitman.
I think the only comment I have is to thank the IHM and congratulate them. They were very supportive, and I don't know if Paula's house would have ever opened if I had not had their support. And one of the sisters even moved into the house and lived there for 6 months to make sure that, things were going the way that they were supposed to. So I'm deeply grateful to them, and congratulations.
Thank you. Councilman Michaelangeli.
Thanks, Your Honor. Question for Mr. Buds regarding the conversation that we had at our workshop regarding contractor responsibility. Are we still on schedule for in October?
Yeah, I think we should have it presented at the first meeting in October.
Okay, cool. Great, thanks. Your Honor, any news on the Trail Committee?
Good question. So when we talked at our meeting earlier, I've received 8 letters of interest to serve on the committee. Actually, I received another one here just this past week or so, 9. I've talked with the city manager because does it tie to the Recreation Advisory Commission? Does it not? It's something that we should form in a combination. Getting through some of the items we've had, my intent is by the end of the month to send those out to get the interested residents that want to serve on that commission or board to our subcommittee. It's like, what do we identify it as and where do we put it? That's one thing. But get them together to really start talking about the connectivity of our trails, the ones that are internal that we can manage, fill some of the gaps, and let them understand their role is important also because of funding that may potentially be available through our street millage and trails, but that they put together a request and I'll say for a capital improvements discussion. So I think there's still time. We have to get them here together here by the end of the month to get them to come in October. That's my, at least what I'd say, I think is a timeline we can meet.
Thank you. And lastly, like everybody else, I'd like to congratulate the IHM on their anniversary. I attended St. John's School, and for 8 years I was under, and I will say this, under the direct supervision of the IHM. And without them, I think I would not be the person that I am today. But one of my fondest memories was as an altar boy, we used to serve Mass during the summer at the IHM. And after after Mass was over and we went and took our cassocks off and we put our jackets on, there was always a piece of candy in the pocket. But for the entire time I did it, I could never figure out which sister actually put the candy in the pocket. And that's one of the things I remember about my involvement over there as a young boy. So congratulations, Sisters of the IHM. Well deserved.
Thank you, Councilman. Just I want to follow up, since all the congrats and recognition for the Sisters in Service of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the IHM. As we said, they're celebrating their 175th. The event is at St. Mary's Park. It is going to be on Sunday, September 12th. 2:45 is when they're going to start to congregate. The Detroit Youth Choir will be performing at 3 o'clock. And they'll be performing for about 45 minutes. And if you know who the Detroit Youth Choir is, if you watch any programs on TV, they did very well in the conclusion of America's Got Talent. So they're very talented. And so we look forward to that. I know that our community will want to listen to this great youth group, but also recognition for the sisters in IHM. So here as we think about a lot of things going on in our world and so much the role that they play, you think 20 years ago coming up here soon is there's going to be many remembrances and opportunities regarding 9/11, the 20th year anniversary. So I would just ask that the public to pay attention. There'll be many opportunities to attend services or remembrance and or even individually. So as that comes up here come Saturday, think about all those that have served and all those that we lost, but also as we move forward as a community. There's a couple items I need on the agenda. It's just sometimes we go through the meeting and councils had many discussions, opportunities on these topics. It just didn't come today to see us before. I do want to make a similar comment as Councilman Moore said on the appointments. I appreciate Mr. Hassett's willing to serve. I think he's going to be a fit for the Port Commission. And I thank council for the support of the recommendation. One of the items that was on, and many might miss, but there was a change order award on the regarding the work being done on South Monroe Street. I thought Mr. Lewis and the packet of information was put there, and anybody can go online and see it, the photographs, and why that was just something that got missed. I think it's going to be a significant improvement, South Monroe Street there on the 800 block. And it's just something as simple as putting the right construction item in. It is a state highway, but there's ways in which funding being used to make that improvement, not only for the traffic, but the people walking by, and there won't be collection of water, and also the businesses that are located in that block. One of the resolutions that we had on the agenda tonight, it was presented at our last meeting when the county executive and others came forward regarding the Michigan Cornerstone and the community event calendar opportunity. I think this will be, with all the work that was done through the Monroe County Link Plan that led to the Michigan Cornerstone and those committees, the pillars that have met, this is one of the items that came out, and I think it will serve everybody, not only here in our community, the city, but countywide, and something to look at to see what activities will be coming more so in the future. Last item, the Opportunity Center at Alcc and the Space Analysis Report. And the council had a great presentation. If those that didn't see it, please go back to the meetings before and see what those possibilities are and the work and that will be done. One of the things I recall was a couple weeks ago, and it really ties to this community involvement and how you get community engaged and people see things that are transforming. But it's almost 2 weeks ago tomorrow that the Opportunities had an Opportunity Center at the Alcc had a rededication of the gymnasium, and of course we have the kitchen that's been redone, and to see the volume of people that were there, and then I read here in the news about the gathering around Labor Day, and almost 200 people within the community came out just to kind of bring a close to the activities. Some of the activities that are occurring. So I just think there's many opportunities to participate, but also many opportunities to join in with our community. So those are my comments for this evening. Clerk Treasurer Lavoie.
Thank you. I have no comments this evening.
Oh, okay, thanks. Mr. Sell?
I don't have any additional comments at this point. Thank you.
Okay. At this time, it's citizens' comments. If those present wish to make comments, are just mindful of the rules of the chamber, that 3 minutes for your comments, and just please step forward and state your name and address or jurisdiction of residence, and you're welcome.
Hi, my name is Steve Murdoch. I live at 420 Michigan Avenue in Monroe. They're using the property behind my house to stage work on other parts of the city.
Oh,
And it's in between Michigan Avenue and Baptist. Used to be a right-of-way, but the dust is absolutely horrible. I got a swimming pool. I can't take the cover off it during the middle of the week. I get so much dust on the top of my cover.
Ed, did you get the address? Yes, I did. Oh, I just wanted to make sure you got the address.
Talked to the city about it. They said they could pour some to put water on it and stuff, because that's what they had in the contract. But then I called him and said, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, there hasn't been any. It's just bubbling up back there. Nobody answered the phone, but I told them they need to come out and look. So I came up to the office, and he told me, well, I'm having them water it once a day, and that's good enough. All my neighbors are mad. I got a petition ready to have it signed. Nobody even told us what was going on back there. Nobody asked. Nobody said, they're putting in water mains on Riverview, Arbor, and now they're across Monroe Street. They're going to use my backyard as a staging area, and they're dumping, loads of gravel that's high as the ceiling. Today there was, because of the wind wave was blowing, there was tornadoes of dirt. And that's right behind my house. People are mad, but I don't seem to get any help when I talk to the engineering department, so.
well, Mr. Murdoch, thanks for being here. I know that Mr. Sell will, internally, will look at that, find out when they're there and in what fashion. There's many projects that are going on, and is that staging working for overall, and if there's things that need to be adjusted. But Mr. Sell is our acting city manager, or I shouldn't say that, our assistant city manager, and he'll have a conversation with Mr. Pastu and of course with Mr. Lewis and others and see what we can do. Okay?
Okay.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
sure that one will be back with you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Murdoch.
Bye.
Mr. Murdoch?
Yep.
Mr. Murdoch,
Mr. Murdoch?
right, Mr. Murdoch over here. Does he have your phone number?
No.
You need to give Ed your phone number so he can contact
And
you.
that way can be a follow-up conversation. Yep, thank you. So while he's doing that, other comments from those present this evening? Any public comments? Yes, sir. Name, address, and mindful of the 3 minutes.
Devin Rucker, City of Monroe. Your Honorable Mayor, City Councilman, on a lighter note, I want to thank you guys again for what you've done for the Opportunity Center. I've had an opportunity, no pun intended, to partner with them and create some videos. And if any residents ever have any questions of was it worth it, looking through that lens and seeing the children smile as they splash, and now that the interior work has been done, wow. I've been to a lot of gyms. I've hooped in a lot of different places, and this place here in Monroe is top notch. So I want to thank every single one of you for being a part of that. Just wow, I truly am. And then getting to be a part of the rededication, to see the families come out. I didn't have the chance to be there presently, but I had a chance to edit the video, and just to see the community coming together at such a hard time, and it's what we needed. So thank you, all of you, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rucker. Other comments from those present here this evening? Other public comments? Seeing none, I know that we have a item on or closed session next. So
Your Honor, I'll make a motion that we go into closed session for the following reasons. Quarterly litigation update, a review of case with Tina Marie Carroll, mix harm, the use of copyrighted city logo, and 661 St. Mary's Avenue.
Second.
There's a motion by Council Michelangelo, supported by Councilman Lamore regarding our closed session for the items stated. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Jermaine? Yes. Lamore? Yes. Felder? Yes. Whitman? Yes. Echoangeli? Yes. Mayor Clark?
Yes.